Foot kick, finds Zeeble on the wing.
Did that very nicely. Zeeble pumps a long one. Larky at the back as a couple of Collingwood players pound each other.
Jeez.
Both of these players will come off for an immediate concussion test. I think Murphy's head has hit the ground. He looked dazed. Jeremy Howe is definitely dazed. So.
Collingwood have got the numbers. Murphy again.
I think I had a competitive nature in me from the moment I came out of my mum's stomach. I just love tackling, I love jumping, I love running for the football and trying to beat my opponent. All I ever wanted to do since I picked up a football was run out on the MCG, which is the Melbourne Cricket Ground, which is Australia's biggest sporting stadium.
16th flag. How sweet it is! Collingwood win the grand final!
We were very fortunate. We were lucky to be playing and win the grand final, but I received my 10th concussion.
Murphy spilt the ball out of his hands. And a free kick.
He's in trouble. Accidental shoulder flick.
I remember running for the ball and then don't remember probably a minute or so after that what happened. I just remember getting picked up off the ground and I've had ongoing symptoms since then. There's different symptoms every time that you receive a concussion. Memory loss. I've been vomiting all night. Sometimes I've had blood noses, migraines, sensitivity to light and noise, bouts of anxiety and panic attacks. I'm really lucky that I was in a professional organisation that I've had great guidance from them.
Morning.
About 3 or 4 months ago now, they ruled me out from contact sport for the rest of my life.
On Saturday, I was medically retired. Doctors said there's not too much going on up here anyway, but we're just going to keep you out of football. But unfortunately, that's the end of me. I wouldn't be here today and living out my childhood dreams without you, so thank you.
Collingwood Premiership defender Nathan Murphy has announced his early retirement after a career plagued by concussion. He's the second player this season to have the decision taken out of his hands by an AFL medical panel with continuing...
A concussion occurs when basically brain tissue moves within the skull. That movement can cause shearing of the tissue in the skull. It's an invisible injury. There can be trauma without symptoms. The diagnosis of a concussion has typically required subjective reporting of symptoms from an athlete and even subjective opinion of what a doctor might have seen from the sideline.
Brodie was touched off the boot. Murphy going in big.
My research is trying to find some objective markers or responses, so not just relying on symptoms. The technology and the techniques have really not been there to investigate it well enough until probably fairly recently.
What's happened over the last couple of years has been there's a big spotlight put on a disease called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, otherwise known as CTE. And there's been an acknowledgement, certainly in Australia, by the chief medical officers of all the major sports, acknowledging the link between repeat head impact exposure and CTE. The only way really to measure, mitigate and manage CTE objectively is by using an instrumented mouthguard technology.
Instrumented mouthguards are, at the moment and to date, the most accurate way we have of measuring the forces the brain is exposed to. And that's simply because the mouthguard is fixed to the skull in the upper jaw, whereas other sensors that have been used in the past, let's say on the helmet or on the jersey, are just not as close to the brain and not as fixed to the skull.
HitIQ is a company that has a vision to build a product suite that's going to assist in the surveillance, the assessment, the management, the guidance, and ultimately the rehabilitation of sports-related concussions and head impacts. HitIQ instrumented mouthguard is no bigger, looks, feels and functions exactly the same as a normal custom fit mouthguard.
We've put a circuitry board inside the mouthguard. On that circuitry board, we have micro sensors that measure forces. So every time you get a head impact, our system is measuring that head impact at 15,000 times per second. So we provide a very accurate data measurement.
Our PCB is very small, so we had to cramp a lot of sensors, Bluetooth module in a very small space. We have to make use of every little space that's in there.
We have a Bluetooth micro, we have flash, we have an IMU, so it's a gyroscope and a low G accelerometer in a package. We have a high G accelerometer, which is a 3D 200G accelerometer, a couple optical sensors, a power subsystem. We have our battery, a battery charger, a couple LDOs.
There were things that we wanted to improve, things like battery consumption, making the board thinner, smaller, and making it more flexible, more user-friendly. So we moved to Altium 365 about 1.5 years ago, and that was a game changer for us. So from the very beginning of the project, we would set up that design rule in Altium based on our manufacturer's advanced capabilities and design based on that. So that made us streamline the design quite a bit. We had to work with a lot of different engineers from other fields like mechanical engineers, industrial designers, firmware engineers. Altium helped us to share those projects and giving them a quick overview of what each part is doing.
Most athletes are not professional, so most brain injuries, therefore, are happening outside the gaze of professional sport. And in particular for children and adolescents, that's a really important time for brain development.
We can use this head impact data to inform policy and to control training loads to ensure that players are always as safe as they possibly can be.
People are still going to run into each other. They're still going to have collisions, but it allows you to understand those and then modify or mitigate through various changes you might employ going forward. It's allowing parents to make informed decisions based on data.
Research, hopefully like I'm doing, and the new tech like mouthguards, instrumented mouthguards, I think it's all pushing in the same direction to try and make these sports safer so that we can enjoy and reap all the benefits that come with these sports without having the consequence of brain injuries and brain health problems later on.
Yeah, thank you again to this wonderful club for letting a kid live out his childhood dream. I've got everything I wanted in football, and I'm so fortunate that I've got to do it at such an amazing club.
It's not tough or courageous anymore to get head knocks or play through them. We've got to put our health first as athletes and as individuals of everyday life. Our health is with us for the rest of our lives, and so we need to make smart and informed decisions based off that.